I am recording.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. I was going to do that, so thank you for the reminder, because I started talking and I completely forgot. But we're just very excited that we're all here together to discuss this program that the provost and Dr. Grace came up with. So I know Lisa wanted to start off with some introductory words.
Thanks, Jane. So first of all, thank you so very much. Thank you to Dr. Richardson and Dr. Shang for their kindness to us and the opportunity to possibly have these great students on our campus. My name is Lisa Kuyava. I'm the Associate Provost for Enrollment and Outreach at the university. And I've been at the university for 23 years. It's a great place. I want to tell the students just a little something in relationship to the history, because if you're going to make a switch and come to Lawrence Tech, I want you to know and understand who we are. And I'm not going to talk specifically about the programs because I know our phenomenal department chairs and our dean will absolutely do that. And I don't want to take that thunder away from them. So let me just tell you a little bit about LTU. Lawrence Technological University was started in 1932 by Russell and George Lawrence. One was a scientist and one was an engineer. And they decided, you know what, let's start our own engineering school. And so they did that with the help of Ford Motor Company in the Highland Park Assembly Plant, where they built the Model T. They had one floor, which was an orphanage, and that started Lawrence Institute of Technology. At that time, their mission was theory and practice. The part that was most important is that they would provide the theoretical knowledge needed for you to understand your major, no matter what it was. But of course, at that time, it was completely engineering. And at the same time, that practice side to give you that practical experience so that you hit the ground running. And what normally many employers say about our students is that they do just that. They hit the ground running. And so that theory and practice, you fast forward, we moved to Southfield, Michigan in 1959 and grew into a very comprehensive university. We have 4 colleges, the College of Engineering being one of them, the College of Architecture and Design, the College of Arts and Sciences, and the College of Business and Information Technology. We have a strong legacy. The epitome of the university is innovation, creativity, entrepreneurialism, and you will find that so much in our College of Engineering. Your return on investment in terms of your tuition dollars is number 1 in Southeastern Michigan and in the top 3% in the country. The College of Engineering is 23rd in the country. We're highly ranked in a variety of areas. So when you talk about the theory and practice and what that means to you as a student, it happens in a variety of different ways. Many of these people on this call right now are renowned faculty who do applied research and get students involved. Some have patents and they get students involved. Some have innovation and creativity about when they're writing journal articles or developing research, and they get students involved. So it's so important. For example, one way you're going to find is when you come to LTU, you're going to receive a laptop that's over $20,000. On that laptop is very specific software to your major, no matter what it is. So if you major in computer science, if you major in electrical or computer engineering, you will find that software. And it almost acts as if it's a portfolio for you as a student to showcase your work and what you're doing at the university. And we have over a 98% placement rating. So it's very good for you as a student that you have that laptop. And it's yours throughout the entire time that you're at the university. And it's very important that that supports you along the way. So that's just a little bit about the history that I wanted to tell you about your return on investment. But the most important thing for you to hear tonight is you will become part of the Lawrence Tech family. And a part of that is these phenomenal people that are on this call. Dr. Grace, who's the Dean of the College of Engineering, he's a very humble person, but I want you to know the research that he's done and that he is well known for is across the world. He's asked many times to do a variety of events with mayors, with governors, with the president, with a variety of people. He goes all over the country to talk about what he does. And students who get involved at LTU and get involved in different aspects of that research are able to put that on their resume. So The people that you're going to talk with tonight are going to give you specific aspects of what you might want to know about the programs that they offer. And so for right now, I'm going to be quiet and turn it back over to Jane.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. What I basically just wanted to go briefly over the agreement that LTU kind of put together for everyone. The agreement is, for you to transfer to Lawrence Tech, and the items that we are going to list below will be for a full calendar year. So starting fall of 2021 through the fall of 2022, if you're interested in participating in this program, you'll be able to do that. What's nice about this program is one, all of your courses that you currently have taken at University of Evanston will transfer over, with the exception of courses that you received a D or below. The tuition will remain the same that you currently pay, which is about 8.7% lower than our tuition that we offer to LTU students. We will honor all scholarships that University of Evanston has provided you. And let's say you didn't get scholarships, that you didn't come in with a lot of scholarships. We will review you for our scholarships. And if we end up providing you an LTU scholarship at a higher amount than the University of Evanston scholarships, we will give you whatever is the highest. So, so that's nice. Also, the provost also decided to provide all students with 50% off their first semester in the LTU housing. So that's nice. So to provide that would be 50% off for the first semester. So basically, we're kind of basically asking you to just continue and finish right where you left off to make it convenient, hopefully keep your same status, graduate at the same time, so there's no bump in your education. So those are the programs. We're going to have an opportunity for questions later, but I do know that Dr. Grace and Dr. Arslan wanted to say a little introduction about their program and welcome you as well. So I'm gonna send it over to you, Dr. Grace.
Thank you so much, Jane. And Lisa, thank you so much. You provided a wonderful introduction. You made my business here is much easy for me, so I do appreciate that. And Dr. Shang, thank you so much for being here tonight. I know you and Tony and Deborah, welcome to Lawrence Tech here. And as I said to Dr. Shang, we'll do everything that we can to help your students to have a smooth transition to Lawrence Tech. So whatever needs to be done, the provost, I spoke to him personally about that subject, and he gave Lisa a full permission to do what's right and what is needed for your students to feel they are home. With this in mind, I don't want to repeat what Lisa said, but just one more item. I would like to let you know that Lawrence Tech is in the middle of a very industrial, wonderful, attractive area. We have GM, we have Ford, we have Chrysler, all the automotive suppliers that deal with engineering. They always come here looking for graduates or for students. And certainly it's a good opportunity for you to get to know those companies and actually start deciding what you'd like to do once you graduate. So with this, we have different companies here around us, and I get many phone calls for looking for engineers, looking for the new graduates. So you would be part of this. And for the College of Engineering, I'd like to invite Dr. Arslan. She's our Associate Dean for the undergrad to speak more about the College of Engineering in general. Celine?
Thank you, Dr. Grace. Hi, everyone. My name is Celine Arslan. I am the Associate Dean for Undergraduate Programs. I am also an Associate Professor at the College of Engineering. And like Dr. Grace mentioned, our location is priceless, but I will come to that. I just want to say that I know you guys are interested in electrical and computer engineering, but we have 5 different departments in our College of Engineering that majority of them, including electrical and computer engineering programs that are ABET accredited for 6 years. And then we're getting ready for our next cycle that will be in 2022. And then we have master's programs that is also in electrical and computer engineering. And we also have PhD programs in mechanical and civil engineering as well. And coming back to our location and our students, due to our location, and not only do we have all the OEMs, we also have a lot of robotics companies, software companies that are in our backyard, basically. And due to that, our students get to do internships and co-ops as early as our sophomore year. I know it's not embedded in our curriculum, but we give our students the flexibility to do whether they want to do an internship in the fall semester, spring semester, or they want to take the summer to do their internship, or they can do it through our career services as a co-op. And if you do 2 co-ops, that would count as a tech elective for you. And we invite the companies, and we usually have around 300 Fortune 500 companies that come to our career services. And our students dress up, they submit their resumes, and they find jobs. And another opportunity that you have at College of Engineering is every program has a capstone project, but very special for Lawrence Tech College of Engineering is that you can be a part of one of our SAE teams. So you can be an electrical engineer and be a part of our Formula Electric team. And that also a great addition to your resume, and that would make you find jobs very easily. And I think by the time they graduate, 95% of our students in College of Engineering, they get to do an experiential learning, and they have overall in College of Engineering, 95% of them have their jobs lined up for them. So I think that's a brief summary of what we have to offer. I don't want to take up so much of our time because we have, I think, Dr. Nelson and Dr. Jabber here as well. And Dr. Jabber is our chair of electrical and computer engineering, and Dr. Nelson is the chair for mathematics and computer science. So I'll give them the stage to talk about their programs as well. Thank you so much.
And Nabi, if that's okay with you, Jane, can we start the Dr. Jabber now?
Sure. How are you? I have
Good, how are you?
I have 2 computers here. Can you hear me well?
Yep.
Perfect. So I'm Nabi Jabber, the ECE department chair and an associate professor at Lawrence Tech. And I have like 5-7 minutes for presentation, so I'm going to try my best to squeeze everything in within that time frame. So I'm going to start sharing the slides so we can go through our programs and our lab discussions. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me now and after. All right, so this presentation is for students who have already chosen electrical engineering. If you haven't yet, then there's a lot of industry out there that will hire electrical engineering graduates. So there's electronic device manufacturing, embedded software, control system, virtual reality, communication systems, robotics, solar energy harvesting. That's some of the many fields that electrical engineers can work in. LTU here, we offer, we focus on both the theory and practice, and high-tech labs with industry-leading lab equipment, which I will show you some of them now during the presentation. And we offer small class sizes and offering many options for evening classes as well, especially if the courses are in prereqs to some other courses. So normally we have the main courses like circuits, electronics, microprocessor. We offer them during the evening and daytime and every semester. So the students will not have a problem registering in those courses. And as Dr. Alston said, we offer internship. In ECE, we have 3 main programs: electrical engineering, computer engineering, and embedded software engineering. They all look alike. I'm giving you an idea. You can find this and download it from the website. It basically gives you all the courses that the student needs to graduate. And the colors here show how multidisciplinary in nature the program is. So we have the math and computer science department, where we get all the physics and chemistry and calculus and province stats and all the math and programming courses. And we have the English type, or we still offer principle of economics in the green blocks here. And the blue is basically the electrical engineering courses focused. So you'll see all the microprocessors and electronic circuits 1 and 2 and so forth. The other program is computer engineering. They're very similar, except that they have one focuses more on courses that would require software and programming than the other. Um, and we have the embedded software engineering, which is one of our newest programs. Two of these three programs are ABET accredited, uh, the electrical and computer engineering. So again, these can be downloaded from the website. If you just Google ECE LTU curriculum, you'll find those flowcharts and download them to look at them. And if you have any questions, please don't feel free to contact me.
Dr. Jabber, would you mind putting those links on the chat box for everyone to copy?
Okay, I'll at the end, right after the presentation.
Yes, yes.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
No problem. So our labs, we have 6 main labs, and they're most of them are newly renovated with new equipments. So we have the printed circuit board prototyping lab. Basically, this lab, which I'll go through them one by one on the next slides. And we have the analog circuits lab and electrical machines lab, embedded software lab, control systems lab, and digital electronics and microprocessors lab. We also have research focus lab that faculty members use with their research assistant students. Um, so here I'm showing you some of the images that we take during our lab. So the top picture here is a student working in, I believe this is the power engineering lab. And we're just so I pointed out there, we have a new faculty position that we're hiring for the fall, and who will teach all the power engineering courses. This is one of our newest lab, the prototype lab. Basically, for senior projects and other projects as well, the students design, build, and test the circuits and devices. So from scratch, they design a whole prototype, and they actually print it in that same room. So the students will use Eagle CAD and software to basically design and draw the whole circuit, and then print it with a milling machine. And then we have a 3D printer. Uh, we basically have all the equipment that's required to design and build a whole prototype. Our capstone senior projects use this room a lot, but any students in our department are welcome to use this lab. The analog electronics is something that you find in any university at any university, because it's just the main equipments that you have with oscilloscopes, power supplies, and multimeters and all that thing. It's the old-fashioned analog electronics as opposed to the digital ones and zeros that we also have a lab for at LTU. So the digital electronics lab would have like training kits for the students, and all of these labs are actually accompanied by their own courses. For example, we do have a digital electronics course that the students will need to take as a prereq to the lab, or a correc together with the lab. So the students will learn the theory during the courses and apply those theory during the lab sessions. Again, this has the equipments that would require to test digital electronic devices. That, by the way, the students design from scratch as well. I teach this course, and this is a second year course where students learn. They come in, and when they're done, they can actually build a mini computer if they want to, after just one semester. We also have a control systems lab, and this lab, we just equipped it with 12 Quanser Cube servo motors. We have a great faculty member that runs this lab and teaches the course. What you see here is the Cube servo motor on the bottom right, sorry, with the red button. The students use this. There's software built in, and there's software built in the laptop, and also the Cube servo motor. Uh, what it is, it's a motor that rotates, so you can embed anything up in here. It could be a camera, it could be an arm, anything, right? And then the students are asked to rotate the different uh, components that's integrated to the cube here, basically to rotate certain degrees and certain speed, and if there's a sensor connected to it, then based on the input that it receives from the sensor. This is a very good lab. Control system, again, is one of the core courses in electrical engineering in all the programs. So this is the milling machine we have, the copper plate here. The students basically would run a program on a computer, and then it prints on the circuit board where the actual wires connect. And after that, the students will actually solder the chip on those boards and basically building the whole prototype. This is from the same lab, E14 lab, prototype lab. So we have the Eagle Cat design station, the one with the big screen TV and the computer here. And we have the PCB mill and the solder oven and rework station. Basically, when one good thing about this is that we use through holes. This is something, it's an industry standard. It's hard to find at any university this type of technology, because the through hole allows the top layer to connect with the bottom layer. So we have the equipment that does that, which is this part of it, the reflow ovens and rework station. This allows the student to do everything on campus and not having to ship anything to like internationally and wait for it to be delivered. I think we went through a little bit of this, the power system lab, and you can see bulky equipments. This is one of the labs that we have high safety protocols, because we work with the faculty and students work with high voltage. So unlike the other labs where the voltage is 9 volts, 5 volts, like a regular battery, there's no, basically the risk of electrocution is zero for that one. But for this one, it's high risk. So we have all kinds of safety measures that we took based on ABET requirement as well. All of these things actually ABET evaluate us every 6 years on, and this passed a couple of years ago. The safety aspect of it passed a couple of years ago. At LTU and ECE department, also we have student lead, or the LTU student, the lead organization. So we have different types. We have the IEEE, the HKN, and SWE, which is for Society of Women Engineers. And the students work really hard with their advisors to actually organize speakers that come in and talk about their own tech experiences and industry experience. And this will expose our students to industry as well. Other ways we introduce industry and our students is our ISB, which is the industry sponsored projects. In the past year, myself and another faculty member worked with 3 different companies, local companies, and successfully completed the projects. And the students actually worked really hard and did all the technical work as part of the senior project. And not only they learned a lot, some of them actually potentially will get hired by the companies. This happened a couple of years ago, where a couple of my students, one of my projects, they got hired by Hatchie, which is the industry that actually sponsored one of our research projects. So the PIs or the managers there liked the students' work, and they were impressed actually by what they did. And it was an easy hire process. It wasn't like you didn't have to go through this resume and literally they just told them during one of our presentations. They asked them if they're looking for a job, and they said yes, and they hired them. So lately, what we're doing, we just bought this recently, electric vehicle. We're trying to make it a smart vehicle, basically autonomous. Right now, it's just an electric vehicle. It's just sitting there. We got it during COVID, so it just on pause right now, but we can't wait to start, opening it apart and building something and implementing all the smart technology within that vehicle and have it run by itself on campus. Dr. Papas, Josh Papas, was one of our faculty members working with me on this one. And actually, there's also a faculty member from ME also who's working on this project with us. So 3 main projects we worked on the last year is with Stefanini and Trucklight and Star Agilent. All 3 of them, Star Agilis, all 3 of them, it was just within this past year, and we completed all of them. The picture you see down there is actually the team from industrial design and ECE. So it's a cross-disciplinary type project. And this is what our vision is to work with other departments, even other colleges, and build things that industry would market at some point. And this project actually was a virtual reality controller, and that uses 5G network. And as we all know, 5G is being talked about a lot lately. So we're trying to get all the new technologies in our department. The other project we had with Stefanini was artificial intelligence type project, which uses geopositioning technologies. Basically, you have a bunch of robots in a warehouse or store that keeps track of tabs within the store for keeping count of inventory. The other project we did was with Trucklight, which are all local companies. That one also required GPS and trailer tracking. So basically, the companies will track the trailers wherever they go, and they have information about fuel usage and all those things. There's also Industry 4.0. We're having collaboration with a couple of companies, Rockwell Automation and Mac and Mac. It's like basically suppliers, and one supplies the other company, and the company supplies us. And we are recently using a couple of our labs to add equipment, new equipment that we haven't even stationed them yet. We believe by fall we should have all of them, and the students will start using them in their classroom. And this is an added bonus to what we already have. Again, this is something Dr. Arslan already discussed, that we have internship, co-op, and we enjoy 90% placement rate in professional fields within 6 months after graduation. Thank you.
Okay, back to you, Jane. And I believe that from the electrical and computer engineering, and Dr. Patrick Nelson perhaps will talk about computer science. Dr. Nelson?
Yep. Does anybody have questions, or do you want to hold questions till the very end?
Let's hold the questions until we finish Dr. Nelson, and then we open the door for all questions.
Sounds good.
Dr. Nelson?
All right, so thank you. So I'm going to share my screen as well. Hopefully that came through. Does everybody see that all right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk a little bit differently about what we do in mathematics and computer science. And Lawrence Tech is thought of as a sometimes a small regional school, but we're really not a small regional school. We're quite a big school actually in terms of what we can do with our students and their publications. And one of the things that we see is we actually have really high rankings, and we do really good comparisons with some of the top schools in the country when it comes to math, computer science. And these rankings come from the fact that we put a tremendous amount of effort into student publication, into student research, student effort. Everything's based on what the students, what they want to be doing, but what's best for them to get the job when they leave the university. So our faculty have put a lot of effort into this, and that has led to very strong rankings at us that we continue to get every year when you look at all the different ranking agencies. in terms of our programs, it's a typical computer science degree. We have a lot of programs, software engineering, business, game, artificial intelligence. We're implementing a new program in data science. And these are standard programs, where they have, typical math, they have the statistics, they have the computer science, they have the humanities, the physics. But what is different is they're very flexible. We allow a lot of flexibility in our department for students who come in wanting to do things very focused on maybe specific things, having a job already set up for them. So we have flow charts set up for them, but we work through these flow charts if the students want to make modifications. And we have a lot of senior research projects for the students. We have a lot of capstone type industry relations with industry, where our students are always working hands-on back and forth. We have a very strong master's program in computer science. We have a 4+1 program as well, which is a program that students come in for 5 years. And in that program, they get their undergraduate degree. When they finish their undergraduate degree, they stay around for 1 more year and get their master's degree. And we offer that in scientific software, artificial intelligence, and the scholarships that are available for those programs are kept for all 5 of those years. We were fortunate back in 2016 or 15, I think, to receive an HHMI grant. We were the only school in Michigan to receive this grant at the time. We were one of only 8 engineering, architectural type schools throughout the country to receive this. And this has transformed the way our college, College of Arts and Sciences, where computer science is built upon this course-based research education. So it's all about interactions. It's all about hands-on work. It's all about not sitting there and listening to a talking head. It's about just working, getting your hands dirty and coming out of there feel like you feel something. So this program, this grant, $1.05 million, allows us to completely change our curriculum. And as everybody's mentioned before, LTU is based on theory and practice. And what I like to say is, with what we've like to even go a little bit farther, research, mentorship, and curriculum are the key components. And then in the middle here is the CRE, which is the course-based research education. So this is something that the students get when they come to Lawrence Tech. They get a very hands-on approach. They get advisors who work with them all the time. And being we're a smaller school, you can walk down the hallway and see your advisor without having to set up a meeting and see him 3 weeks from now. You can walk into the dean's office and say hi to Dean Grace if you want to today. This is one thing I really like about this school, and I'll talk a little bit more about this when I tell you a little bit about myself and how I got to be where I'm at here. The other thing I just wanted to quickly show you is that we're investing a lot of money into student research modeling. This is our new research modeling and programming suite that we're building. We're transforming one of our old classrooms that hasn't been used. These walls are all going to be painted with the stuff that you can just work on them without having, there's no chalkboards or whiteboards needed. There's going to be interactive TVs in these rooms. This is going to be a space for the students to do their research, to come in and interact and talk. It's going to be like a coffee shop, a place where they can come in and hang out and feel good about what they're doing. When you do come to Lawrence Tech, you graduate. We have a very strong graduation rate. And while, in this graduation rate over the years is continually getting bigger or better and better and better. So there's, you're paying tuition to come here, you're paying good money to come to Lawrence Tech. But when you graduate, you're not just graduating, you're getting a job. And, as Nabi said, 90% of the graduates, I think 95% of the graduates of computer science go straight into either working or going into grad school when they leave the university. We have a strong number of full-time faculty. Our full-time faculty, this is part of the change in the culture at Lawrence Tech. We used to be, math, computer science, used to be more, at a time where you had a lot of faculty coming from similar places. But over the last 4 or 5 years, we're starting to hire a lot of faculty from different universities, strong universities, Penn State University, Lehigh University, getting Northwestern, getting people in here with creative ideas that's changing the way we think about everything. As I said a little bit just about who I am, I'm the chair of the Math Computer Science Department. I've been here for 10 years. I've been the chair since 2016. I have a very strong pedagogy where I come from, but I was at Michigan for many years, and I left Michigan to come to Lawrence Tech to take an opportunity, because Lawrence Tech was built upon working with the students. And at Michigan, I was struggling at times, especially with underrepresented students, getting students to really get them the opportunities that they needed. And so that opportunity presented itself for me to come here, and I love it here. So I've been at the big schools and I've been at the small schools, and this Lawrence Tech really encompasses the best of both. It's really something that students see right away when they come here. As I talked about with student publications, this is CJ Chung, is one of our more senior faculty members, has been here for 30 years. These are a list of publications that the students do. If you Google student publications and look at research sites, Lawrence Tech is one of the top 20 schools in the country for smaller schools in terms of student publications. This is critical. It's not about just learning something in the classroom. Everybody can learn in the classroom. It's what do you do outside of that classroom that makes you successful when you go to your positions. Dr. Tao Lu is one of our newer faculty members who is working in machine learning and networking. We have faculty working in text mining and data analytics, big data, cybersecurity, bioinformatics. And these are programs that if you're interested in, you work with that faculty right away. And so it's almost a balance between an undergrad and a grad degree. You're really getting this experience, in the real hands-on experience. We have a ton of industry advisors that we work with all the time. And these advisors are always giving us input, and they're always giving us creative projects for our students to be working on. And here's just some examples of some of the things, because the students don't just publish, they get recognized for it. So this was a publication about ring galaxies that was done. It was featured on Nova back in 2017. We have another publication that was done about Lionel Messi being one of the most overpaid players in soccer. And again, this was on CNN Indonesia. It was in UNICEF, Digital Trends. Again, just showing here things that our students do. And we also participate in a lot of competitions. We have an autonomous vehicle that Dr. Chung is working on. We do stuff with robotics. And our perspective from our robotics is hands-free robotics. From the our computer science, a little different than computer engineering, what they do. But these students, we're always pushing these students to compete in these competitions, hackathons. This team took third place in a hackathon competition that we hosted back in 2018. The autonomous vehicle, the taxi that the team has been putting together, it's featured on the local news. And then just the last couple of slides it's because we're math and computer science, and I push a lot for the students to really understand the mathematics. And so we all run a lot of these competitions for math modeling, and our university, for who we are with the Putnam exams and a lot of the other things, actually place very high as well in some places as some of the very top schools in the country. We're always looking for students and encouraging them to work in these types of competitions. And then lastly, we have this RoboFest program that is an outreach program that Dr. Chung put together 20 years ago. This is more for high school and elementary school kids throughout the world. It's the largest organization for RoboFest for autonomous robotics that there is, and we host all these competitions here. Detroit's a great place to be. It's a beautiful city. Doesn't necessarily get a lot of recognition on the news, but when you come from different places and you come here, you see it's a fantastic place to be. So this is just a quick overview of things that we're doing. I'm happy to answer questions. You can email me anything that you want. I'll reach out and be more than happy to answer. Thank you.
Jean, back to you.
Okay, so
Can I say one thing, Jane?
Yes.
I just want to point out, thank you so much to our faculty, Dr. Nelson, Dr. Jabber, Dr. Arslan, Dr. Grace. I want to say they mentioned some things that were so important. First of all, Dr. Nelson mentioned a lot, and so did Dr. Jabber, about the student connections with our faculty. It's highly important that you know that, because they really mean it, right? It's like at the heart and soul of everything we do. Second thing is they talked a lot about that interdisciplinary connection between computer science and electrical engineering, or the College of Architecture and Design and the College of Engineering. And our provost is very strong on that interdisciplinary connection because it gives you much more of a broader perspective on the innovation that's happening all across the 4 colleges. So I just wanted to say that I really appreciate the presentations that you absolutely portrayed. Thank you. It was great. Go ahead, Jane.
Okay, well, we just wanted to talk about next steps. Obviously, I strongly feel that, this is a decision you need to explore. I recommend that you come and visit campus. We are doing tours on, person tours. We're meeting with students. We can, if you do decide to come to campus, we can connect you with the program directors, Dr. Jabber and Dr. Nelson, and make sure that all your questions are answered. If you don't want to come to campus, we have a lot of virtual options that we can share with you, so you can at least start the exploration to see if this is something that you want to do. Obviously,
Can I say one thing
Sure,
related
sure.
to that? I'm sorry. So Dr. Grace and I spoke about this, and I spoke to Dr. Richardson and Dr. Shang. If all of you students decided that, you wanted to take a leap and explore this great opportunity, that really your leaders, Dr. Richardson and Dr. Shane, gave us the opportunity to get great students like you. We'd send a bus and we'd pay for the bus, and we'd have them pick you up and your parents and bring you on a weekend so that you could actually take a full tour. You could stay, you could eat our food, see the campus, all those labs that Dr. Jabber showed you, you could get right in there. Everything Dr. Nelson talked about, you could do that too. So I'm just throwing that out. But Jane's right. You can do it individually, but if you want to come together, we can actually accommodate you as well.
Mhm. So if you do have any questions, hopefully we can do that. That'd be great, Lisa. But if you have any questions before then, we could connect you. I'm sure Dr. Nelson and Dr. Jabber, even Dr. Grace or Dr. Arslan would love to talk to you if you have any questions. I'm the director of admissions, so you can connect with me anytime. I'm going to put my information on the chat in a minute. But that would be the first thing I would recommend that you do, to just explore more, ask more questions, just find out if this is the right thing for you. As I mentioned earlier about the scholarships, if you're saying, hey, Jane, what does that mean for me? You could send me your transcript. I could take a look at it. I would let you know, this is what I'm looking for you for scholarship if it's an LTU scholarship. It's really just to benefit you and, as you move forward with this. The next step after that is an application, if you're interested to do so. And it's kind of just outlining the steps, just so you would know how easy it is to kind of move forward with this. But, we do have an app, a website. Obviously, you can apply. We will waive your application fee. And all you need to do is send us your transcripts and your financial aid award letter, so we know what your scholarship looks like at the University of Evanston. So then we could take it from there. Registration can start as early as April 19th, but you can register all summer long whenever you decide that if this is something that you want to do. So I just want to let you be aware that it's not difficult. We're here to help you, and we want to make it as easy, as seamless as possible for you. And now Lisa wants to talk a little bit more about Lawrence Tech, just a little bit about, I know you got some information about the culture, campus life, but just a little bit more about housing and things.
Yes, so I wanted to say just a couple more things. We have close to 1,000 students that live on campus now. We have 4 different residential facilities. One is more apartment style living, and then the other is more a community-based living. So we have 2 types. If you do decide, let's say that Tristan, you were coming and Andrew's coming and you want a room together, fill that application out, but put down that you both want a room with each other, if that's what you'd like to do. We also have athletics on the campus. So we have 29 different sports as well as football. We are adding esports, and we're actually now facilitating a team, and we're adding women's hockey. And we're adding more people to the band and to track and field. but we have basketball, we have softball and baseball, we have bowling, all of them men and women's. We have lacrosse, both men and women. So we have a variety of sports. We have a lot of engagement that goes on. And again, it's very much of a family atmosphere. The faculty, you will receive a mentor, you will have support and guidance. We are pretty much a very, very strong technological private university that really is the future of innovation. And we'd love you to be a part of that. And our faculty will support you and help you as you go through this process. So I did want to say a couple things on that as well.
So now we're going to open it up for questions. You've heard from a lot of us. Is there anything? I know we will entertain, and we should provide you with all our emails. I know I stuck my email in the chat, and I know a few others. Maybe if you have any questions, but does anybody have any questions they want to chat about right now?
So we're just gonna apply online, right, through the website? I just want to make sure I correctly. Okay. Thanks.
Dr. Sheng, Dr. Richardson, and Deborah, Mark, welcome. We're glad you're here. Do you want to say anything or?
Yeah, am I too old to attend?
No, you're more than welcome to come.
Okay. I mean,
I'm
sign up for the
impressed.
program. I'd be willing to sign up for the program more than just the bus trip. So.
Yeah. Yeah, we're very impressed about your facility and your programs and offerings. And I certainly really appreciate all of your teamwork to help us transferring our students out. And although it's a little long distance to Evansville, but I certainly think you offer unique programs for our students. And then your articulation agreements are the best for all of comparing to other universities. So I want to say to our students, you really have to take a look at Lawrence Tech closely, and then you won't take more time comparing to staying at the University of Evansville, because you match a lot of gen ed courses. You don't have to take more than you should. So I hope you can look into this, and if you need to organize a tour to campus, certainly Lisa will help us to do so. So thank you so much, Dr. Grace, Lisa, and everybody. Thank you.
Pleasure, Dr. Shang. It's always a pleasure to speak to you, to your staff, to your students. And as I said earlier to you, we'd be delighted to help in whatever way we can help you and your students.
Thank you. Tony, you have anything to add?
No, I'm a little surprised the students don't have more questions, I guess, but we will, I'll get together with them and see what interest there is in a bus trip, and see if we can't get something like that arranged.
And the reason is because Jane and I are been in admissions a long time, and Dr. Arslan and really even Dr. Grace would tell you, you want it to be a good fit, right? You probably didn't see yourself in this time. You chose your school and you're loyal to your school, and you should be, because of respect for Dr. Sheng, and she's built this great College of Engineering. But we want to tell you, okay, now if there has to be a change or a transition, as Jane said, and Dr. Grace, we're going to make it as seamless as possible, because we know you're in the middle of your degree. You might be just at the beginning of your degree, but we want you to come to LTU and feel like, yep, that was a great decision. I feel a part of this. I feel a part of the family. And I can guarantee you that whether you go into computer science within the College of Arts and Sciences, or you go into one of the engineering programs within the College of Engineering, you will feel a great sense of you're a part of the fabric of the university. We tell people, welcome to Blue Devil country, because that's now you're a part of that family. So we're happy to help you in any way and make you feel comfortable.
I did have one question, actually, regarding, you mentioned living on campus earlier. I was wondering, as a junior, I may not be as inclined to live on campus as I don't really now. Would there be any reductions in scholarship if we didn't live on campus, or how would that affect transitioning?
Great question, Gage. So we actually have a facility called Arbor Lofts that's apartment styles. It's really all apartments. That's off campus. That's a place for you to stay. If you decided, let's say, Gage, you have family in Michigan or right by the university, or you're going to go live off campus, we'll work with you. And you're going to always work with me, because when Dr. Grace knew this was happening, it was probably on a Saturday at 10 o'clock. He called me and said, we have to do something for these students. So we're going to work with you, and we're going to make it attractive for you so you feel like it was the best decision. So Gage, I will be happy to work with you.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. All right. Well, I think if, you students, if you don't have any other questions, I think we all put our information in the chat box. And, again, if you guys want to come together, we'll set up a great time for you. We'd be happy to do that. But if you want to come individually, we can do that too. Dr. Arslan or Dr. Grace, Dr. Jabber, Dr. Nelson, do you want to say anything else?
Rodney says they don't have any questions because you guys did such a great job of covering everything.
That's
So
very kind of them. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are here just for the students, around the students. That's what we do. Whatever we do, as Lisa said, you can walk in my office anytime. You don't need to go anywhere. Just knock on my door, and you are more than welcome to walk anytime. Same thing with Nabi, Seelan, or Lisa, or anyone, even with the provost. The provost actually is a professor in electrical and computer engineering. That's his background. So anything you need, we will be happy to work with you and around you.
we appreciate it. Jane, if you could send me the link to the video, and then I'll distribute to the students I'm sure we have a few that would have liked to have been here and couldn't make it. So
Okay, I will.
thank you.
All right, back to you, Jane.
Well, thank everybody for attending. We're so glad that we had a nice group of people. And again, our door is open. Our email is always open for questions, or give us a call. But we look forward to connecting with all of you in the future.
Thank you so much. You have a great evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.